we ended up moving back to Florida because our dream was, to live here and move here and all this kind of stuff and be involved in the ministry. But, when my wife, who I met in college, didn't have we were going to transfer her school here. It didn't work out. She needed a lot more time in Florida. She could get a degree right away. Well, we just moved back to Florida and started over. I put my tool bag back on and I walked the streets to find work. I didn't know anybody. It was starting from scratch 100%. That's kind of hard, actually. But eventually I found enough work and we're able to get this little historic house in a neighborhood called Seminole Heights. And Seminole Heights, I didn't think anything about the historic windows at all. We're right across the street. There's this old man, when he passed away, we picked up this house as an investment and it had the old windows in it. So the first thing I do is start fixing up the windows and restoring all the doors. And I wanted everybody to know who I was. And so I hired an architect to, we had some square footage onto the house and with my skills in framing and things like that. We just started doing it. And that's when I discovered that nobody was doing the windows. Everybody would come by and say, well, why don't you just replace them? I said, well, what do you mean replace them? I mean, look at these things. They fit the house. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They work. I mean, if all they need is some love, and why would I take them out and replace them with what? Some stupid thing that doesn't fit, and
Preach.
And so what happened is, inevitably, I need some replacement parts, like a sash it's got termite damage or some rot or something like that. And I didn't know how to make a sash. So I started searching for somebody to make that. And there was this old guy named Ernie on Florida Avenue. This Cuban fella had this shop. But what you had to do to get a window sash was you had to take the sash out of the opening, take it to him. He would replicate it in his own time. And who knew how long that was going to take?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the window's boarded up. I can't move on.
Right.
And so I thought, this is a business opportunity. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to learn how to make sashes. I made these timber framed, trusses.
Yeah.
And I want to really master the mortise and tenon. So here I go. And I went and I bought a shaper and I bought the tools, and I had this little itty bitty 600 square foot garage I'm working in, and I figured out how to make a window sash. And I ended up building, for the addition I put on this house across the street, I built all the windows and mortise and tenon and all that kind of stuff. And it was rough, but they passed inspection. The inspectors liked it. Everybody was raving about it. And that house, when I sold it, sold for more money per square foot than any house in the neighborhood had before that time. It was really, really cool.